I'm gonna vlog going to the grocery store. I've got some trash with me. This is my bag. I am going to toss this out on my way. I'm so excited to leave my place. Oh. And hopefully this will be interesting. I would be using my phone, but it doesn't get as good of picture quality. So, yeah. Now back to vlogging. I just got all the trash put away. Have my handy dandy sanitizer from back at home in the States that I threw in my luggage back in August. I think it was August. Anyway, I have that. And there's my handy. I think I cut my hand, but I have put sanitizer in my hands. Now to take it. Things aren't too bad at the grocery store. But there's this feeling of panic and fear. The second we walk in, it's everybody so uncertain. Yes. This is what needs to be done. Ice cream. Interesting. So many choices. There's everything else over here. It's not that bad. I think pictures of grocery stores and wholesale worse. On my way home from the grocery store, that was different than I was expecting. I mean, let me turn off my headphones so I can talk better. I mean, I expected there to be more of like frazzledness. I guess people kind of have accepted what's happening. Everything was so orderly, and they had lots of food. But the second you got in there, there was like this there's like this overwhelming sense of panic and just terror with everyone. Like, they gave you gloves when you walked in, and yeah, it's definitely really interesting. Definitely bought a lot of food. I take after all of my family members who, when you go to the grocery store, you buy a few extra things. Hopefully I don't need to go to the grocery store for the next at least a week. So, yeah, I wanted to make sure I had ingredients to make more of my cream cheese brownies, because those are the best. They're my comfort food at the moment. So, yeah, now I'm just walking back to my flat and enjoying being out, even though it's scary. It's scary. I never thought it would be scary to walk along the street, but it is what it is. You can see the river from my walk. And then if you go across that river, or if you go down to the river and you look to your left, you'll see the Guggenheim. Okay, cool. I'll see you back in my room. Hi everyone, it's Victoria. I'm so glad you could join me. I am an American who is a graduate student in Bilbao, Spain. I am working on my master's both at the University of Malta and the University of Deusto here in Bilbao. Working on my master's in International Humanitarian Action through the NOHA program. Today is my 6th day of quarantine here in Bilbao and my 6th vlog. And it is March 20th, 2020. So, anyway, you may see from my first few clips that I went to the grocery store today, which is what I planned on talking about today, because going to the grocery store in a quarantine country, it really wasn't what I expected, because there's just a lot more options. But the biggest thing that I noticed from my vlog, or from when I went to the grocery store, like, there was everything you need on the shelves. The only thing you couldn't really find was like flour to cook with. But there's just this underlying, you could just feel that everybody was panicking, but they couldn't let it show. So there was like this overwhelming tension throughout the store. I was able to get some gloves when I walked in, and it was just an interesting experience for these interesting times we live in. Anyway, when I got back home, I ended up checking through Facebook, and I discovered that somebody I know, I'm not going to point any directions, has the virus and is having to go to a hospital, I think for further care because they require it, which really was hard to read, was hard to hear, or is hard to hear through reading it on Facebook, and it kind of shook me a bit. And then so I called my family and I told them that this person was had the virus, and then I went and called my brother because my brother's girlfriend was supposed to be coming and staying at my mom's house, so because she lives far away from my brother. Haven't met her yet. I've only heard good things. But so to make sure that all would get taken care of, and so I was volunteered to call because that's not news my brother would want to hear, and explain to him the situation. And basically, while I was talking to him, he told me that he had just listened to a press release that Trump gave to all Americans, saying that we're going under a level 4 travel restriction, and if you're coming back to the States, get back by tomorrow night, otherwise you won't be able to come back for an unknown amount of time. Which is scary. It's really scary, and it hit me really hard because I had both of these big things just go wow, wow. And, you know, that's kind of what everybody's dealing with. We don't know what's happening. We can't understand what's happening. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future. And it's scary. It's really, really, really scary. This isn't how I expected my graduate school to go. But I do know that I thought about it. I do online counseling, which I highly recommend, especially during these times, to just process and deal with everything. And when I was talking with her, it was so helpful because I was able to talk to somebody outside of my circumstances who's dealing with something similar, because everybody in the world is dealing with it, and get some insight and just kind of process everything without talking to people who have a stake in the game, or who are also quarantined in Bilbao or somewhere else, who also have that stress. And it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in. But, you know, I think what we need, like, I'm staying, oh my goodness, I'm touching my face. I've got some hand sanitizer. I know this is like the most rare commodity, but I bought it at Walmart back, I think in August, because I was buying everything I think I might need before I moved to Europe. And I'm glad I have this itty bitty thing of hand sanitizer. It clipped quite nicely onto the outside of my grocery bag. when I went to the store. But this is just, life is hard. Life is hard in general. But it's exceptionally hard now because you lose out on your coping mechanisms. You lose out on anything that was familiar. Like, sometimes all you want is, you just want a hug from your mom. But I can't go home and I can't get that right now because I'd be putting my community at more risk. I would be putting my health at risk, and it's expensive and it's hard to get there. And it just doesn't make sense if I want to work on my graduate degree. I'm forced to reconcile with what my short-term desires are with my long-term. And it's hard because my brain rationally knows that this is the safest place for me to be, especially since health, like, the US is so large, there's not enough testing kits, and there's so many other things happening. But I need to stay here. My head knows this. I know all the reasons behind I need to protect my community, social distance, yada, yada, yada. But then my heart is like, I want to be home with my family in case something does happen to somebody I know. Because when I was in China, that happened and it was so hard. But I can't live my life like that. And if I went home, I couldn't, if somebody were to pass that I know or get in really critical care, I couldn't go anyway. Because everybody's isolated. And like recognizing the fact that I can do as much communication and contact with people in my family right now as I could if I were at home. It's insanity. Absolute insanity. And it's so hard to reconcile yourself with, and I need to wash my hands. I'm gonna wash them after this, I promise. It's just difficult. It's just difficult. And there's no solutions right now besides just staying inside and washing your hands. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I guess the case is that we never knew what was going to happen anyway, and the future's always uncertain. But one thing I learned when I was in college is like the stages of like culture shock in a sense. And I think that might be a applicable thing right now because everyone's cultures are shifting. Because we're losing out on everything. So at first you have the stage of everything is super new and exciting. It goes, and as you can see, I was really planning ahead on this. That's not useful. This is a useful piece of paper. It's my meal plan that I tried to start that never got beyond that piece of paper for breakfast, lunch, and dinner last week on Monday. Clearly, I'm very much attached to this. So when you're dealing with like stages of culture shock, you first have this, oh, this is super nice and exciting, and then it goes down into something hard, and then it gets easier, and then it gets back up to being hard, or something along the lines of this kind of a diagram. So when you first leave, you get like, everything is all super new and exciting, and it's we get to do this, and we get to do that, and we get to do that, and then you get to hit a reality, and then you're like, this is hard. This is really hard. I hate all of this. Everything's difficult. I don't know what I'm doing. Yada, yada, yada. And then you get up and you start to figure things out, but then things get hard again. And then you finally are starting to figure things out, and then you go home. I feel like we're kind of doing, our culture is doing this like shifting of priorities as a whole, and it's difficult because you can't just go do the things you were used to doing. The world can't allow, you can't do that because you don't want to kill off half the population of the United States or whatever country you're in, because you need to isolate to keep everyone safe because there's no other coping mechanism so that the world ends. I don't know. I'm being extremely dramatic, but at this time, I don't know if I'm being overly dramatic or if I'm just stating things like they are and trying to be a little bit funny. And nobody knows what's going to happen. And it's hard. It's so hard, and it's scary. And panic is something that is like, it feels like it's interwoven into everything right now. I'm trying to think of how to put this, But I'm not a panicker, and I normally thrive under situations like this where if I can jump in and I can do something, get my hands dirty, be helping people, I'm a lot better off. But right now, I can't. I'm in the process of getting qualified to go and help in these kinds of situations. I'm wanting to apply for internships right now that would help me in these kinds of situations, but I can't. I can't do that. I need to be at home in my apartment in Bilbao and not fly across the world because I want to be at home with my family, because that's not the smartest decision for me to make. And if my master's program starts back up again, my long-term goal, one of the things I'm working on, why I moved halfway across the world, is to get a master's degree. And if I go home to the States, I may not be able to finish it because I could be trapped in the United States for an unknown length of time. It's just all difficult. There are no easy answers, there are no right answers, and there are no wrong answers, because no one knows which way the world is. Which way is up, which way is down, nobody knows, because it's all going round and round and round and nobody knows. But there are some things that are good. People are having community, like when we go out on the balcony every night at 8, that's something that's giving me a tie to other humanity. Everything outside of myself, because I am engaging in a communal response and being with other people and seeing them on the street and recognizing that there's a really cute family that's a couple stories up on the other side of the street and they're always having their little kids clap, and it's adorable. And it makes you feel a part of the community when people are out there clapping for everyone who's taking part in this. Nurses, doctors, firefighters, people who are forced to work to keep life moving. Everyone. This is a time that we need to be pulling together, even though we're scared out of our minds. Even though we're uncertain. Even though we may not know what is the right decision at this moment. Because you kind of just gotta make do with what you have. Use the resources you have. Use the knowledge. Not overstimulating your brain. Setting up some structure, because you don't set up some structure, you're going to lose your mind. Because who knows how long you could be inside. I'm really trying hard not to be a downer, but I'm trying to process this myself. Who knows how long this will last? Who knows what will happen? No one. No one on earth does. No one has any idea what's going to happen in the future. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing right now. Because if they knew all the world was going to end or something, or everything was going to, I don't know, when you like see the movie at the end of the credits and it all fades to the black. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But it's up to you and me and everyone else to make the small steps, because everyone's small steps make a big impact on the world and make a big impact on humanity. Something I've always been passionate about is recognizing that I can change the world. I am ambitious, and I am the first person to admit that. Most of my, sometimes I can be arrogant, as my mother has pointed out to me many times, that I need to quit being so cocky and so arrogant. But it happens. It happens. I'm working on that, Mom. I'm working on that. But this is a time where you can be what you want the world to be, because the world doesn't know what it wants to be right now. I mean, it wants to be healthy and happy. But beyond that, nobody knows what's going to happen next. So be the change you want to see in the world. Be that person. Be the person who goes and helps people. Be the person who maybe not able to do things physically. Maybe you can help the community by staying at home. Maybe you can help the community by making a bunch of freezer meals and giving it to the elderly in your community. Maybe you can do it by seeing if you could pick up groceries for somebody in a vulnerable group. Do something that you want to be a change in the world. This is a great time to reassess your priorities. There's a lot of things you can do to keep you busy, but you can only be kept busy for so long when you're stuck in one place. assess who you want to be. What kind of a person do you want to be? How can you learn from all these things that you're experiencing right now? What I did when I came back from living in China and I was forced to reassess how my life would look was I made like I had 2 sheets of paper. One was things I like, things I don't like. And I went through and I listed things. So, I like to travel. I like being around people. I like helping them. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like the other. I don't like monotony. I don't like boring. I can't do boring. So, because of that, I want to live internationally. I want to be somebody who goes and does. And I want to be somebody who helps people sustainably, not just going unqualified and taking jobs away from people. So because of that, I discovered after extensive Google searching, and I realized that humanitarianism and my master's degree was the right fit for me. And now's a time where I'm glad I did that searching, but it's time to, I don't know, maybe let go of the preconceptions I had for right now. Because if I let go of the preconceptions of how everything would work, maybe I would be more at peace and less stressed. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Nobody does. And that's even scarier. So, I'm running out of song ideas. So if you have any songs that you think I should turn into a quarantine song, please leave them in the comments. So, I was more focused on going to the grocery store and figuring out what my life would look like than writing the song for today. So, forgive me if it's bad, but I'm doing enough songwriting every single day that hopefully by the end of this quarantine, in however many days that is, I can actually write songs. That would be fantastic. I did a short stint as a songwriter back in high school, but those songs will stay back in high school. Yeah. Okay. We were both young when I first saw you. I close my eyes and the flashback starts. I'm standing there on a balcony in summer air. See the streets as they empty beneath me. See you make your way through the crowd and say hello. Little did I know that you were corona, you were infecting people, and the world said stay away from all of us. And I was crying on the staircase, begging you please to go. And I said, quarantine me somewhere I can be alone. I'll be waiting. All there's left to do is stay social distance for the community. It's been a weird year, baby, just say yes. Hope you enjoyed. Comment, like, let me know what you think. Also, I am going to put in the footage here. Right now I'm going to put in the footage of everyone clapping this evening on our balconies in spring air here in Bilbao, and what's happening all across Spain, 8 o'clock. If you're in Spain, go on your balcony, 8 o'clock, and clap, because it's something that gives you hope and a purpose at this moment. So, stay safe, stay smart, stay healthy, and thank you so much for everything you are doing to make the world a better place. Particularly thanks to everybody who's keeping the world running, and the doctors and nurses and researchers and scientists who are doing what they can to find and help people who are sick and create a safer world. Okay. Stay smart, stay safe, stay healthy, use your brain. Okay. Have a great evening. Goodbye.